Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this Wieprima Ferrule Crimping Toolkit. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful, I'll put a link to this in the description on Amazon, and if you use that link it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost anything extra. So this is self-adjustable, has 1200 pieces, and it has a storage box. So here's the crimper here, and here's the back of the package. Pull this out. And it also comes with an assortment of the ferrules. And here we have an instruction manual. So here's a chart that talks about which color of the ferrule to use with which size of wire. So as it says here, this is suitable for 0.25 to 10 square millimeter wire or American wire gauge 23 to 7. So it says crimping steps. Choose the proper connectors according to the wire specification and strip the wire. Put the stripped wire into the connector and make sure the conductor is fully inserted. Put the connected wire into the crimper jaw and start to crimp. Press the handle to crimp the wire. Note, if the sleeve does not hold tight, adjust the pressure adjustment ratchet. So here's the crimper itself, and this is ratcheting. So if you want to put these in your toolbox, you'll kind of close them a little bit, but not all the way, and the handles will stay closed. So the handles are plastic here. You can see the crimping mechanism. So you can adjust the tension here. It also lists the size on the tool itself if you forget. And then we have the assortment of ferrules. So this is a lot of ferrules. So we have 200 of the 22 gauge, the 20 gauge, and the 18 gauge. We have 250 of the 16 gauge and the 14 gauge. We have 50 of the 12 gauge, and we have 25 of the 7 gauge and the 10 gauge. So what these are used for is when you have a screw terminal. So I have an example here. This is a grounding strap, but this is a similar type of terminal you would use these with. This is just easy for me to demonstrate. So when you put a wire in here and you tighten this down, it can smash it and kind of fall apart. So what this does is it reinforces the wire. And this is very similar to what you'll find on a lot of shoelaces. So I have some wire here. This is an 18 gauge wire. I'll strip it. And I can put that in here. Now this is much smaller wire than you typically use for this. But if I put this in here, first off, I'm putting it through this hole and it could snag on things. So I have to be careful about putting it in. Of course I can twist this a little bit. And I'll tighten that down and it kind of smashes it. So what I can do here is use one of these ferrules. So here's an 18 gauge ferrule. Twist this, I'll stick this in here. I'll use the crimper. I'll stick this in the crimper. I'll squeeze down. And we've crimped it. So now if I want to put this in here, I can slide it in, put the screw down, and I'll have good contact there. It's a much cleaner install. So where these would be used quite often would be if you're fabricating things like doing 3D printer work, hooking up to motors, controllers, things like that. You can also use these in automotive applications where you have terminal blocks and such. So here's some automotive wiring. This is a little bit thicker. This is 16 gauge. So I'll use this size here. Take the crimper. And there we have a nice solid crimp. So these are auto adjusting, so they'll work with the different size ferrules. You don't have to adjust it for each one, but this is a lot cleaner looking. Let me cut this here. So these actually look the same cleanliness level, but these usually do this. You know, they come apart and they fray. These can break off. By putting a ferrule on there, it's a much cleaner setup. So these work great for fabricating because if you're moving things, testing things, these will fall apart after a while. You have it in the ferrule here, this will protect it. Found some 12 gauge wire here. Let's try that. There's our crimp, and that's on there very tight. So if you're wiring the screw terminals and such, this is a great thing to add to your toolkit. It makes for cleaner installs, it makes for safer installs. I like this tool, it has a nice sturdy feel to it. It feels just really solid. It does a nice job of crimping. You can see it puts little marks in there. You can see the little divots in here, so you have a very tight crimp. You don't have to worry about this slipping off easily. So that's the Wieprima Ferrule Crimping Toolkit. That's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.